If you are a student at a PWI or about to be a student at a PWI, honestly, if you are a student at an HBCU, you know what? If you are a person who loves to listen to great conversations, this is the episode for you. So stay tuned until after the music.
You're about to listen to a great episode of the Laz and B Experience podcast. Within this episode, my hope is that you obtain something that will help you find your success. So grab a pen, get your paper, your favorite snack or drink, and really listen to what I have to say. I truly believe it can be what you need to get you to your next level in life. So grab a seat and enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back to another episode of the Laz and B Experience podcast. Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be yet another great episode with another great guest. All my guests are great because I specifically chose them for the topics they're going to be talking about because I know they have experience and they have knowledge when it comes to these topics. So my guest for today is a friend of mine that we met through Boy Scouts.
Yep.
We were both program leaders, and she was definitely very loud and outspoken, and I think that's why she's great for this topic. But she does a ton of other things. She just got a new job, and she's just being an adult and everything. So without further ado, I do want to introduce my guest for today, Miss Ariel Ralph. Okay. The crazy thing is I just asked her what it was and I got it wrong once again. Miss Ariel Ralph. How are you doing this lovely evening?
It's going good. Doing well. Just got off work actually.
I did too.
So ready to enjoy the evening. If that's a thing I would say.
Wonderful. So if you can't tell by the title of this episode, we will be talking about navigating a PWI, which stands for a predominantly white institution while being black or being a black student. So we can get straight to it. Tell us a little bit about who you are and then why you know how to navigate a PWI.
Absolutely. So I am originally from the Northeast area.
Area of what?
Gary, Indiana.
Oh, Gary, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just north. People don't know where it's at, but it's north. Came down to Indianapolis, middle school age, enjoyed it, dabbled on the east side at Warren Central, and then ended up at IUPUI. Currently now I work for Cummins. I'm also a part of the pretty fabulous sorority of Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. But I'm just here. I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to enjoy. But I think what, really got me through IUPUI as a black student, as a black woman, was dedication and a lot of laughs. I think that's the only thing that really gets you through a PWI while being black. It's definitely laughs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when we talk about a PWI, I know I went to two different PWIs, but I'm pretty sure you have friends that went to HBCUs and everything, and I'm pretty sure you went to campuses of HBCUs. What do you see are some of the major differences between a PWI and an HBCU? For those who don't know what HBCU is, they are historically black colleges and universities.
Absolutely. So PWI, of course, they want diversity. You will definitely see other people. Before HBCU, it's phenomenal. It's literally every day, every hour, it is like a family reunion. It don't matter if you're tall, short, dark skin, light skin, mocha, caramel, however other skin tones people want to say it. It is a huge family experience. Like, even if you don't know somebody, it's kind of, where's this building, or where's the bookstore? Where do I go to park? Or, even if you're an alumni, you're ready for homecoming, you're ready for the games, you're ready to see the new students, the traditions. Mm-hmm. PWI is kind of like, all right, well, we're at a game. I see the same people I have in class.
And the thing about the school that we went to, or I go to, you went to IPWI, is that we don't really have like a football team.
No.
I feel like a lot of especially in the fall, a lot of the things surround around the football team, like homecoming. And I don't even think IPUI has a homecoming. I think some of the black students actually created a homecoming for students to participate in different activities and stuff like that. So that's definitely a big difference between our school, at least, and an HBCU.
Now, my thing is, even if we did go to IU Bloomington, because they're the ones that have the football team, it still would be different. I don't know. I feel like it would just be lacking that family experience. Like, I mean, like anytime you go to a barbecue, even if you haven't seen your cousins in like 10 years, 5 years, 3 weeks, it's like, hey, what's going on? What you been doing? You know, seen this on Instagram, or, you know, I saw this on Facebook. How so-and-so, or, you know, how the kids, blah, 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 blah. And you don't really get that type of love at a PWI. It's just kind of like, all right, hey, haven't seen you in a while. All right, catch you later.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because we embrace one another a little bit harder than many other cultures altogether. I know sports, one, is a main thing that brings us together. I think it's just the concept of a competition, just to see, you know, my team's gonna win. No, my team's gonna win. All right, I bet money on it. Like, but it's. I think that's what excites us, is the concept of even just knowing that somebody else that looks like me is going to be there, versus, you know, okay, you go and you're like, all right, well, here we are again. I don't know. It's kind of cringy. I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, being like, when you walk past, you don't get like that kind of, oh, hey, what's going on? How you been? Oh, I like that shirt. It's more of, let me hold my purse. Let me pull a little closer.
Well, I guess for me, I have a different experience because I'm a transfer student to IUPUI. I originally went to Northern Illinois University, NIU. And when I first went there, I was a part of an organization called NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. And that organization, I was also in the Black Choir. Shout out to them as well. And like, I did a lot of things with other black students. So even though we were at a PWI, we had our like group of people where homecoming, we did have that kind of feeling that you said about going to HBCU. We had those even though I didn't party that much, but we had those parties that black people will go to and everything like that. And then transferring to IUPUI more as an adult, basically, where I'm going to class and then I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I'm definitely trying to stay involved as much as I can. But being that there's so much, I'm also still trying to live with with my job and all these other responsibilities. I don't see that same kind of, for me, I don't see that same kind of feeling, because like I said, I'm going to class and then I'm going straight to work, or I'm coming from work and I'm going straight to class, and then I'm trying to go find some food because I haven't eaten all day.
I gotta hike across campus.
Yeah, but I still try to stay as included as much as possible. Like, I'm still a part of the different group meets that we have for our the black students at IUPUI. I'm still a part of the group meet for NSBE at IUPUI. So I still try to stay connected that way, and like, I guess I'm not as active as I could be, but I mean, I try to put in something every now and then. Like, I talk about this podcast sometimes too. So that's kind of the experience I have so far with a PWI.
Well, I mean, like, even when I transferred from Ivy Tech, I mean, Ivy Tech is not even deemed as a PWI, because I mean, it's a community college, but it was even diverse in there. I think it was just interesting as being a freshman and a sophomore, and majority of my peers, kids were my age. So it was kind of like, oh, you know, Miss Ashley, can you help me, you know, whatever, this, that, and the third, or can you help me with this? And they're like, no, just call me Ashley. And I'm like, you're like twice my age. Then when you go to like IUPUI, everybody's the same age as you, but it's just, everybody comes from a whole different background that, you know, you just kind of tippy toe, because you don't know, you know, if it's gonna hurt somebody's feelings or you know, they might not understand what you're saying, or, you know, especially if, like, you know, you're coming from, if you're an international student, you know, you might say something that sounds, you know, normal or calm to you, and to them it's like, oh, you're aggressive, or, you know, you're ready to fight, and you're like, I just want to know where the bathroom is. Like, what are you talking about?
So, I mean, we talk about these things that we have to go through at a PWI. So why did you decide to go to one over an HBCU?
And that's a good question. I think the problem was the lack of information about a HBCU. No one in my family, let me rephrase that, that my elders, none of them went to a historically black institution, university. So once it became, you know, my turn to go, it was like, okay, well, all we really know is IU, Purdue, and Notre Dame. So it's kind of like, well, where's the money? You know, who's going to afford to pay what, this, that, and the third? So after Ivy Tech, it was, okay, are you going to Ball State or are you going to IU? And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to either. And they're like, well, you know, mom's like, well, I ain't got the money, so where you going? Because you're going to go to college. And I'm like, well, what's in the middle? She's like, IUPUI. All right, well, let's go down there and get it rolled. So I think it would be helpful that once they do go to high schools and do the college enrollment or talk about universities, that HBCUs start going to schools that don't have an HBCU. Because in Indiana, we don't even have an HBCU at all.
So that means it's going to be a lot more expensive to go if you're a resident of Indiana.
Yeah, so it would help, because I just found out, you know, Central State is, you know, 2 hours away, but that's HBCU in Ohio. And it's like, I didn't even know Ohio had any HBCU. So it was like, I could have went if I would have knew about it, though. If I had the information, the knowledge, more information about what scholarships, you know. Granted, you know, you go to a school and they're like, oh, well, we have, you know, this, that, and the third if you qualify. But they don't tell you, like, oh, you know, it could apply to, you know, a HBCU. Or, you know, at this HBCU, we give you $100 extra if we find out you have a black car. Like, you know, you don't know unless, you know, someone tells you, or if you do look it up, you don't know what to look up.
Yeah, for me, when I graduated or about to graduate high school, I feel bad for saying this, but I went to a predominantly black high school, and I was like, I had the black experience, so I think I want to experience something different. And I'm not saying that HBCU is bad or anything. I look back right now and be like, if I could go back, I probably would go to HBCU. And I remember applying to HBCUs. I don't remember getting accepted to any HBCU though. I didn't get accepted to a lot of schools. Like NIU was probably the best school that I got accepted to. One, because they gave me, they did give me some money, and I also had some scholarships coming in too.
Oh, that's good.
But I was like, I want to experience something totally different from my high school.
Yeah,
experience.
my norm. Yeah,
and it's not. And the crazy thing is, I was a part of the band like in high school, and that was like one of the things that I enjoyed the most. And a lot of them, they continue in band and they continue at a HBCU. And I was like, kind of the odd person out, even though I never said this. I never said it out loud. Like, I want to go to a PWI. I want to go to something outside that's not predominantly black. I wasn't like as hyped as they were about it. And I kind of think about like what they're doing now after college and how they're still connected to their college and still connected to those people. I feel like I kind of should have did that too, kind of. But I mean, each experience is not a bad experience, so I don't regret doing what I did. But I think I would have tried to go to HBCU. Yeah. Because I probably could have went on a band scholarship too, because I enjoy band. I thought I was pretty good at it too.
Well, that's good. I mean, I would. Now looking back on it, I probably would do a semester just to see how it would be different.
I mean, you can always go to grad school at an HBCU.
Oh, Jesus. Mom, if you're listening, I need some more money if we're going to go to grad school. But I would do a semester just to see what it's like. I know with everything being virtual now, I would want to be in person just to kind of get that experience, to know like, okay, you know, where's the, you know, best chicken spot, you know, who got the best burgers, you know, where do you go when, you know, the library's full, but you need to study, but you want to be with your friends and still be a little loud. So it's like I want to see where what the hype is. I do want to see.
So we kind of getting into this already. So now that you had your experience at a PWI, do you think an HBU experience would have been any better? Do you think it would have been worse? Do you think it would have been the same? Like, what do you think that experience would have been like if you would have went there?
I think it would be the same. Just like your journey, once I transferred to IUPUI, I kind of went to work right after class. Of course, I was a part of the BSU. You know, I did SAS. You know, I was active on campus, but it was more, all right, I got to leave, I got to go to work. Or in vice versa, all right, I got to leave work, I got to come to class. So it was kind of give or take that I did miss out on some activities that could have been cool for the, you know, just starting out college student, but like going on, you know, 22, it was like, I gotta pay bills. gotta get this degree and gotta get out. But I definitely say, yeah, I would call it even. I still interact with people. I was never the one to just be like, have a hood on, sit in the back of the class and not say anything. But at the same time, it's like, I just worked an 8-hour shift. Teacher talking about an assignment due tomorrow. I don't know. So it's like, I think I would call it even. I definitely would. I would still, you know, be engaged, hang out with my friends, you know, on the weekends, probably have a little shindig at our dorm if I even lived on campus, or, you know, go to the games. I probably go to more games than I did, because I think I attended one basketball game the 2 years I went to IUPUI.
That's crazy. I attended like almost every, like I said, we don't have a football team, but I attended almost every home football game. I mean, I was a part of the band. So my freshman year, I was a part of the band at NIU. So I had to be at the games. But even after that, I still attended the football games. I attended some basketball games. Our basketball team wasn't that good when I was there. So it wasn't.
The face you're making when it was like, And
the thing is,
should I say
with
this on the air?
NIU, it's different for every school. But with NIU, our tuition, part of our tuition went towards paying to go to these different sporting events.
Oh, so y'all didn't have to pay.
We didn't have to pay. We just had to show ID and we could walk into any sporting event: basketball, football, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics.
IUPUI need to get on board with that.
But yeah, so I think that played another part into why I went to the sporting events and did that. And I was also a photographer for our newspaper.
Okay.
So I did a lot of that too. So I got into sporting events and those kind of events to take photos for. So yes. But to answer the question that I asked you, I also think it would have been a little bit of the same if I would have went to HBCU. Like I've said this before, I said this in other episodes, that I'm a introvert, so I'm not a person who's going to be out there trying to like really talk to everybody or be the life of the party. I'm going to find a good small group of people and I'm going to be able to like be myself around those people. And I think that's what I did already, and that's what I continue to do now. So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think even in high school you kind of learn your boundaries. Like many people are like, oh, you're still learning, you're still developing. I think like once you're about midway through sophomore year, you can kind of tell like, oh, I love being out. I like being with my friends. I want to go to the football games, volleyball, soccer, tennis, you know, lacrosse. And then the others is kind of like, all right, nope, this is too much. Social batteries on 5. I say hey and I leave. Like you learn that early. Because once I got to college, I was like, in my mind, my freshman year at IB Tech, I was like, oh, I'm going to be at the parties, like on movies. I'm going to be with my friends. We're going to have like party X version. About halfway through my first semester of freshman year, I was like, yeah, nah, this ain't going to work. I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. So yeah, I say it's about 50-50, but you learn kind of like right then at the jump, like, okay, this is enough for me, or no, I can't handle too much at once, or I might need a friend. I know at IUPUI, I saw so many students with like a support animal, and I asked a couple of them, I'm like, why do you have it? Like, you know, what is the actual essential need for it? And they're like, you know, I have anxiety, or, you know, I have depression. I just need something, you know, to either hold or, you know, be with me, or this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, I just twiddle my thumbs. Like I don't know what what the big hype is. But again, everybody, you know, they learn their needs and, you know, their comforts, and, you know, gotta kind of learn how to get over it, but also, you know, apply it to your abilities. So
yeah, so that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, what are some things Black students should be prepared for when attending a PWI?
Everything, just run. Ask no questions, just run. I would definitely say a big thing, be prepared for, and don't get me wrong, ignorant questions. Especially if you're the only person of color in a class, or, you know, for instance, like I was, you know, being funny moments before the, you know, show started. I was in the IT building. Well, usually it's a lot of Caucasian males. So when it comes up to the topic of, you know, for our audio class, all right, so what song are we going to look for, you know, to put in the background, or, you know, what we're going to remix? And the first thing is hip hop, and then they turn and look at you because you're the only Black person in the room, and you're like, I do listen to other music, guys.
You should just joke and be like, I only listen to rock music. I don't know what you're talking about.
I only like country. I don't know what's going on. I like heavy metal. What's up? Like, you know, we can bang something out, but like you be very understanding. That's because, you know, again, they don't know anything, because if they come from a predominantly white high school, they don't have anybody to ask these questions to, because all they see is whatever's on TV or on the radio or what they heard or Twitter. So it's like you gotta kind of build a hard shell to be, you know, like I tell many of my friends, you gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And sometimes, you know, that's the setup. You're gonna be in a class full of 30 to 75 students, and it might be only 3 Black students, you know, or, you know, African students, or, you know, Indian, you know, somebody of a color, or Hispanic. They are automatically gonna look at you like, all right, so you know the answer? Like, you know, what are we doing? And you're like, don't look at me. Like that's literally the thought process, like, in your brain when they ask. Like, the professor is not asking it to be an ass. Like, you know, usually it just comes out like, oh, for instance, you know, what's people's favorite food? And then someone's like, oh, chicken, but it's a white person. And then everybody turns to look at you like, do you like chicken? And you be like, bro, what? Like, don't look at me. Don't even say nothing. But you know, again, you gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But I know, so that's one thing. Another thing is, when they act, like, especially if you're from another area and you have an accent. I know many times folk be like, where are you from, Ariel? And I'm like, Gary. And they're like, oh, well, you sound like you're from the South. But then when I go south, folk be like, you know, where you from? I'm like, Gary. And they're like, oh, you sound like you from Chicago. I'm like, don't nobody know where Indiana at, huh? Like, okay. I'm like, what accent? So, like, you gotta also be ready to kind of just give an answer and just, like, walk away with it. Because if you're a type of person like me, like, you be ready to go into a story, you don't have time. Like, you got like 10 minutes. You already grabbed your food, but you got to get back to the other end of campus. You don't have time to tell a story. So you kind of be ready to, you know, just, all right, here are the hard facts. Here you go. Good luck with that. Just keep going. You gotta go. Because then they're going to kind of pester you, and it might spin off to something else that they didn't mean to say, or, you know, that they don't know. And now you feel some way, they feel some way. It's too much and it's too hard. So I definitely will say, be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And it doesn't even matter if you went to a predominantly Black high school or predominantly white high school or whatever, because when you're going to college, you're going in probably not knowing anybody or knowing very few people. So in order for you to build that group around you, or that core circle around you, you have to, like, go out there and meet new people. And for some people that might be like a daunting task to go out there and do that. So, like, if you can just start with one of your classes and talking to one person, I think that would definitely be helpful, because that one person is going to know another person or another 3 people that can introduce you to, and, like, it can just be a ripple effect of you getting to know people. So definitely get ready to get outside of your comfort zone, but don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, because that's what everybody has to do. We all have to do that. And if we want to be successful, whether it's in college or after college or not going to school and starting your own business, whatever you want to do, you have to kind of be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm gonna trademark that. I feel like people are, like, starting to say that. And I'm like, I ain't never heard nobody say that. I started it.
I wonder if I probably can't even trademark it because it's so popular. Like I feel like certain
Who said
things.
it? Who's
I don't.
besides you right now?
I mean, I don't know people, but people say it.
Who? Those exact words. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I feel like I heard it before.
Okay. Okay. We'll see.
So going to my next question, what are some resources for Black students who are or will be attending a PWI?
I would definitely say, and I don't care what anybody says, find the Black faculty and staff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are definitely, even if they're new, they definitely will know the ins and out of the institution. They will definitely know who amongst the staff and faculty to talk to or, consult in, as well as outside resources. I know coming into IUPUI, I was already, like you said, we worked together. So many people were like, oh, I need a job, but I love kids, this, that. I'm like, hey, let me put you on. I already, work here. Let me see what I can do. They can do the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's a job, somebody read your resume, help you with an assignment, understand what the courses are.
Help you find an internship.
Exactly. Look, maybe try to squeeze you and get you a parking pass. No, I'm just playing. They're not going to do that. I wish. Listen, the way parking was, had to fight.
I
that
might
was
have
a fight.
To park outside of campus.
You got to walk. Catch the Indigo, get a parking pass, then get a bus pass just to get to campus on time. But I definitely would say find your nearest Black faculty and staff. That will be your resource on top of resources. Because again, they've been there. They know who to talk to, who in there even has the extra resources. And even if they don't know who, they will find you somebody that does know who. Yeah. So I find them. They're usually IUPUI speaking. They're in the Multicultural Center, which is Taylor Hall, which is literally a smack dab in the middle of campus. If you go to any other school, I would definitely find your BSU, which would be your Black Student Union or organization or affiliation, and they will direct you to, your Black faculty and staff.
Yes, I agree. And then going off of finding your BSU, finding other organizations on campus that is geared towards around Black students.
Absolutely.
So I got talked about, and I always talk about NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers. That is a great organization that if you're an engineer student or you're a STEM major, or you're cybersecurity or whatever it is, it's a great environment to be around other Black students who are also going through the same courses that you're going through, trying to get the same type of jobs and internships that you're trying to get as well. So it's just a great environment to be around. So if you can find that within your major is great, because I know like journalism has a Black organization like that as well. I'm pretty sure somewhere in business they have a Black organization like that. For IUPUI. So wherever your major is, if you can find a Black organization that's geared around that that subject or that major, definitely be a part of that organization, because again, most likely your faculty advisor is going to be a Black faculty member, whether they're staff or a professor or anybody like that. And again, like Ariel said, they're going to be the people that can give you resources on top of resources, that not just on campus but off campus. Like I said, talk about trying to get internships, trying to get co-ops, trying to get volunteering opportunities, all of that kind of stuff. They will definitely be able to help you with, and they want to help you with, because they want to see you be successful. And then outside of your major, if there's other organizations, when I was at NIU, I was a part of the Northern Black Choir, NBC, and that was another great organization I was a part of, where we didn't, of course we talked about school, we did study sessions and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't about our major, it wasn't about school, it was about us singing gospel music that we all love to do, whether we play instruments, whether we sung, whether we just want to be a part of an organization.
They just love each other. Just love on each other. Like, I think,
and just come to the meetings or come to the rehearsals or whatever. Like, that was just another great organization to like find your family and be a part of something.
And I think many times there's not enough publicity about clubs. And I will also say do your research on clubs.
Yes.
It's a long piece of paper of all the orgs I was in for Ivy Tech and IUPUI, but I would definitely say I never felt like I was the minority. I was, another student. I was another, adult learning, or, another friend. So I would definitely say research, the clubs you want to be in. I understand, it has a blingy name, or, your best friends in it, or, your favorite professor is, the staff member on it, but also feel like you belong there. You shouldn't feel like, am I a checkbox that they submit into the office that, yep, we have another black person, or, we have another Asian, or, we have
whatever. Our diversity quota.
Yeah. Fill out that diversity and, get kudo points on it. You want to feel like you're welcomed. You feel like you belong.
They want you there because of who you are, not because of the color of your skin, or because it's just another checkbox they can check. Yeah, and I was going to say something else.
Take your time, Pastor.
So we do have another thing with IUPUI, and I'm pretty pretty sure other campuses have it. We have, I think I talked about it already, a group me for Black students.
Sure do.
And they always have different resources on there. They're always talking about different things that's going on, not just on campus, but around Indianapolis. They they also have, they just put a lot of information on there. You can ask questions and you probably get 10 answers from 10 different people within the matter of minutes or whatever. So finding that on your campus, finding that within your Black students, if you don't have it, creating it for your Black students would definitely be something to help you and them be successful.
Absolutely. And I definitely want to give a shout out to the African Student Association, because it seems like, and don't get me wrong, like many institutions, they're like, oh, we need so many black people. But it's like, we're not the only Black people. Like, you do have exchange students, you do have international, and again, we go through so much, but it's like they go through it too. Like, they come from another country, they don't speak our language, and if they do, there's some words that, they can't translate, or might need a moment, or,
English is most likely their second language.
Yeah. And it's like,
or third.
They're students too. They just want to hang out. And I know with IUPUI, we always had so many events, so many study sessions, so many, Friendsgivings we have with the African students, because we're all Black, African American. So it's like, got to give them love too.
Definitely. So talking about professors, what are some tips you can have to navigate and deal with professors, especially if you're in a major or you have taking classes where a lot of your professors are not Black, or they don't understand different things that we might go through?
I definitely would say get everything in writing. I had a situation with a professor, and again, this is a class I was the only Black student, as well as only female student, and it just felt like he was ganging up on me. I don't know if it was because I was a woman, and again, I was a transfer student, so I didn't even have this class at Ivy Tech. I had something similar in high school, but again, I graduated high school at that time 3.5 years ago, so it was kind of like some of this stuff isn't fresh anymore. And I sent him an email and was like, hey, it just seems like you got a little attitude with me, and it's like, I'm here to learn. I can understand that, like, if I came to class, loud, reckless, bothering people, like, not doing any work, but it's like I'm here to learn, and it just kind of seems like you're like, I got your money for tuition, you just here, you're just another kid, like, oh well. And he expressed that he felt that I should already kind of know these things. He held me to a higher standard than my white colleagues, my peers, but the tone and the affection wasn't represented the way he was explaining in the email. And fast forward, we had another situation again. It was kind of like, oh well, you're another student, you're just another Black kid in my class. And I took the email to my counselor, and it was kind of like, well, what do we need to do with this? Because at this point, he's in the way of graduation. I need the class. I don't need the professor, but I need the class. But he's kind of standing in that way, because now I feel some way, and it's not, not anything hostile, or, I'm not going to fight the man if I ever see him, but it was more of, okay, now my feelings are hurt. I really don't want to do anything now in your class, but I need this to graduate. So, you know, fast forward, you know, because I had those documentations, you know, we had to have a group meeting. It was like, you know, hey, you know, she feels this way. She already expressed it. 3 months into the class, you still haven't shown her, like, you know, this is, you know, I want you to succeed. It's more of, okay, you're a burden in my behind. What do we need to do? Because at this point, you know, she needs to graduate, but her tuition pays your paycheck. So what we gonna do? You got it together. So I definitely say get everything in writing, even if it's, you know, God forbid someone, you know, gets sick and has COVID, and your professor is like, oh, I'll let you turn this in late, you know, face to face when they say this. And then when you submit it late, you get a 0. And you're like, what happened? You be like, well, what are you talking about? We never had this conversation. It's like, remember on, you know, last Tuesday at 4:30, you know, PM, like, you know, and it's like out the window. So I definitely say anything with anybody, keep a receipt, get it in writing.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then also, if you do if you're coming from a different environment where you didn't have, well, all your teachers were maybe black or they wasn't all white, I wouldn't go into that situation like,
I would never say aggressive.
Like like
you're ready to fight.
Or
Don't
you're
do
like, they're not going to get me. They're not going to understand, because a lot of times your professors been professors for 20, 30 years. Yeah. So they worked with, or they had students that are black. So hopefully they learn something, or how to work with people who are of different race or different ethnicity or whatever. So don't go in there hostile and just trying to make up things or try to make things more difficult than it have to be. Always, I would say, give them the chance to make the mistake and then correct them when they make that mistake. Yeah. I agree.
But I wouldn't say wait too long now. Don't wait a whole semester and a half and then be like, oh, well, I feel some way. And it's like, all right, well, I already failed you. It don't matter now.
Exactly. Yeah.
But also bring it to their attention. Like, even if it's, 2 minutes after class, like, hey, or even if someone else is bothering you, in the class, speak up. Like, you don't got to be, a snitch and be like, oh, well, Timmy hit me. Like, but just, hey, we, something you said in the comment and, so-and-so said this and, it kind of struck a little nerve. Because, many people, again, like you say, you're an introvert, you don't want to, like, approach that person and, then it goes far left and you're like, whoa, wait, that's not even what I was, trying to do. So, sometimes you do need someone else to intervene because, you may not know how that person reacts, or how they would take that information. So again, like I said, like I had it in writing that, my professor wanted me to, be the best, be the top student, be the top dog, but it wasn't visibly accurate of what he was trying to have me achieve or do. So I had a third party, step in and be like, hey, she feels this kind of way, what's going on? Like I've known you for years, like, how we can fix this. So yeah, get everything in writing and, don't be scared to talk to your professor because they're there. Like, I was gonna say that. Again, many of them have kids that again might be your age, exactly. So like they know, like okay, older. way older. Like I know my film professor for cinematography. He was 74 teaching the class. Like his kids are like well in their 40s. So, but yeah, like they and again, even if they don't have. Again, majority of, a colored population in that class, I'm pretty sure they've had students that, are a different race, ethnicity, and they can understand the pain, just let them know, hey, I feel this way, this, that, and the third, and, figure it out. Get it done. Don't be weird.
I was going to say also, like, hopefully your teacher or your professor is there because they enjoy being a teacher. They enjoy teaching. They enjoy helping students. So you going up to them and asking them for help is kind of like good for them. Like they enjoy that. They want that to happen. Like they hate it when they have office hours and people
and nobody show up at all. Oh, we got a dirty email about that. Like we want all y'all to come to these. I need this, that, and the third after class, and then y'all don't show up.
And then you wait till the last couple of weeks, like, I need help with this. I need extra credit for this.
Yeah, look, the project due.
Go to them, like, at the beginning, in the middle, and, like, be okay with asking questions. If you're scared for some reason to go up to them at the beginning of the semester, write them an email saying actually they should have their office hours in the syllabus, but like if they have office hours, just go to them. Like they're not gonna bite you. Hopefully they don't bite you.
Hope not. Jesus. I'm Mike Tyson.
They're there to make you, hopefully help you succeed. They want you to be successful. So don't be afraid to go up to them if you have a question, or if you're worried about an exam or need extra help. Like they want to help you. They don't. Hopefully they don't want to give F's to the students. I mean, of course they do if they have to, but they don't want to do that. So moving on to life outside of classes, what are some things students can look forward to, like parties, we talked about student clubs or other extra curricular activities?
Again, like you search your clubs, I would definitely say search your university. And I'm snitching on myself. It took me a good 7 months to realize IUPUI did not have a football team. Saw the football field. I was like, oh, okay. Kept pushing, because the problem is the building I was in, because I only had class in that building. And really the only time I had to go to lecture hall was for math. And then, the campus center for food. So I really didn't have to go up and down campus to do anything. And I got wind of, Ball State and ISU homecoming. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't seen nobody wear no football jersey. What? Now remind you, this is now the second year I was on campus. And I was like, I don't think I saw anybody last year with a jersey on. And they were like, yeah, because we don't have a football team.
I think I realized that like before I got there, because like I said, at NIU, I went to almost every home football game. So that was one of the first things I was looking for to be involved in. And I was like, they don't have a football team.
Yeah, because they were like, yeah, you would have to go to Bloomington. I'm like, Bloomington's like an hour drive. Like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, you got to go to IU to go to the actual football games. I ain't driving no hour after class to go watch the football game. No, that's difficult. So again, research the school you're going to, because you could be like me and then be there and you're like, oh, let's go to the football game. And they're like, no, you got to drive an hour to go see it. You're like, no, never mind. But definitely I would say learn your university.
Learn the city too.
Yes. Because, yes.
With Indianapolis, our city is basically downtown. Yeah. And there's a lot of things you can do downtown. Some schools might be the life of the town.
Yeah, town, yeah. And then the next city is, 45, 30 minutes. Like Muncie. Like, I know Ball State is, at least from my apartment, because I live in Fishers, that's still a good 35, 40 minutes from me. And that's the closest city. So, because you got Fishers, Noblesville, Anderson, Muncie. So the next party area, you would have to come to Noblesville or Fishers. And then once you get out of Muncie, it's Kokomo. So it's like, there's another 35 minutes. So
nothing. Let's move on.
Exactly. Kokomo. That's what's there is Kokomo.
But like I said, research stuff that goes on in your city. No matter if your school is a college town or it's just a school within a town. Like there's things to do hopefully outside of your campus. So I mean, of course, your number one thing is to do well in school and get good grades and graduate. But on the other hand, there's other stuff that you also need to do as a person, as a human, to relax, to have self-care, to do all this other stuff so you can be successful within your class. So definitely, like Ariel said, definitely do your research on campus and off campus of different activities to do.
As well as being safe too. Like, I mean, luckily I know IB Tech didn't have this, but I was very grateful for IUPUI. They sent out alerts. I mean, it was every 5 minutes, but unfortunately, but I mean,
they gonna let you know what's going on.
Even if it's a petty thing, like, oh, somebody, tripped, we had to call the ambulance. Like, whoa, like, what did they trip into the hole? Like, this would work. But I mean, and I don't know if any other university does that, but like, you want to be safe. I know for me, like when I would have a long day, because I am more in the digital side, technology side, class ended at 9 p.m. I mean, it's dark at 6:30 in the winter.
Yeah, some of my labs ended at that time.
Yeah, so it's like it's good to get those alerts and also have outside in different spots, you know, in the parking lot areas as well as the buildings, you know, an emergency button. And usually the operator comes on and they're like, you know, is it emergency? You know, what's going on? And you can be like, you know, I'm a female. It is late. I park, you know, across campus. Can a police officer escort me? And they come within like 3 minutes. And they, you know, either you can get in the vehicle, you know, if it's a female officer, get in the vehicle with them, or if it's a male, they'll drive behind you to make sure, you know, nobody just rolls up on you.
Yeah. I was gonna also say, like, we talked about student organizations and being involved with them, but being involved with them also get you access to things that they might do outside of the organization. Like if they have parties, or if they do hangouts, or if they have, I don't know, cookouts or whatever it is, like those kind of things build like relationships that hopefully will last outside of college. And once you graduate and start the real world, you can still like look at those memories and be grateful for those memories. So definitely look into the student organizations and what things they do outside of school.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask them about what their alumni situation is. I know, like for BSU, even though I graduated in 2020, I still go back and do many events. I either, you know, order pizzas or, you know, help, you know, set up stage or whatever, you know, whatever's going on, you know. And again, they're grateful too, because, you know, as you know, a college student, you know, we broke, you know, or, you know, we you know, it might be that one day that, you know, faculty or staff, you know, they got to go get their kid from school, or they have a doctor's appointment, so they can't stay after. All right, well, we need somebody to, you know, go cross town and go grab something. Like, hey, you know, alum, you know, can you, you know, do us a favor? You know, is there any way, you know, if you're coming to campus? And I'm 9 times out of 10, I'll be like, yeah, I'm on my way. I got you. What you need me to pick up? You know, and they're grateful too, but I'm also grateful for them because it's like they didn't forget, you know, because not me by myself, but, you know, multiple students even before me built that relationship, you know, that organization to be bigger than just, oh, we're black students on campus. It's, you know, or we're the African students on campus. You know, we want that community. We want that love, you know, to be back, but also that builds that relationship. Because even then, once you are in these orgs, you find out people are in other organizations. And then that even sounds interesting. Like I know a young lady was on the chess team. I didn't even know IUPUI had a chess team, but when I was in 5th grade, well, I was whooping kids. I was ready. But I haven't played chess since then, because like Ivy Tech didn't have a chess team. My high school didn't have a chess team. So it was like, oh, you in a chess club? Oh, how I get that information? But if I wasn't in, you know, BSU or went to that event, I wouldn't have known.
And another thing about other extracurricular activities we didn't talk about was intramural sports, which is great if you want to be on the sports team but not be on the official sports team of the school because maybe you're not that good or maybe you don't have the time for it. It's definitely good for those who like to play sports and be competitive, and I think they probably have tournaments and stuff like that. So that is definitely something you want to also look for if you're looking to be on the sports team but not on the official team for the school. And it's a lot of fun. Again, you get to meet new people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do stuff after their tournament or after their games and stuff
Usually
like that.
Eat.
Yeah, so that's just another way of having life outside of classes, outside of going to school.
Yeah, everything is networking. Everything is.
So we're going to get a little, how do you say it?
Personal.
Not
you about to get in my business?
Not personal, maybe a little deep. So when it comes in depth, yes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to issues you see in the news, how black people are treated around the country, how do you feel life is impacted on campus?
That's a good question. I think it really just depends on your social group, as well as, again, how comfortable are you going to be with being uncomfortable. I know, and even though this had nothing to do with college, the middle school I went to was in Hamilton Southeastern, and being one of the 3 black families in the whole entire township, I was there when Obama was running for the first election. You know, so many of them were like, oh, are you going to just vote because he's black because you're black? And it's like, well, what does that got to do with anything right now? I mean, we're in the 5th grade. I don't know how to spell encyclopedia. Like, what is that?
I don't know how to spell that right now. So.
A lot of things I can't spell because of Siri, but, you know, but it's like, you know, even as an adult, you got to kind of understand where you are, what the difference is between real news and fake news. So the shade room, that's not real news half of the time. CNN kind of has the on information. Sometimes you'd be like, all right, that don't make no sense. But I think if you know your facts, you know what's going on, you've heard from all sides of the party, not just, oh, I only want to hear what I want to hear, then I can understand how you can educate other people around you. I know, at least while I was at IUPUI, nothing drastic was going on to be like, all right, pause. Like, there was no interruption in class or, a divide amongst, students on campus, an uproar, a riot was going to happen.
It's crazy because IUPUI did have something like that way back. I don't know what.
Was it when we went?
No, not when we were. I'm talking about before we were born.
Yeah, I can't speak on that. I don't have the facts for that.
That's true. You're right.
But I definitely would say know everything that's going on, but also be cautious of your surroundings. I know with, again, predominantly white institutions, their elders have influences on them just like our elders have influences on us. So just be aware of what's going on, but also know what the facts are, understand, where your heart is at, but also be, smart, because when you're in public, but I definitely would say know all your facts, have all the information before, you be ready to just blurt something out, or, again, not be hostile, but, just be ready to, educate somebody on something. And, just do it with a kind heart, because they might not know. Like, I know many people that, again, come from predominantly white schools, elementary, high school, don't have that fact check, or, they don't have anyone to answer, their questions to. So when they come to you, it's kind of like, all right, I don't know, I just want to know. So, be kind with it. Don't be ready to attack when they, have a question.
Yeah, I would definitely say there's a lot of, resources when it, like, with the faculty, other black faculty members, you can definitely go to them when you feel like there's something uncomfortable going on within the country that's affecting or impacting you, and they can help you go about that situation to the best of your ability, so you can continue being successful. And then they also, like I said, we have a group me for the black students at IUPUI. And like a lot of times when there's something going on in the country, is brought up in that group chat. Quickly. And we have a lot of professors, we have some faculty members and professors in there too, and they also give their input, and they tell us how we can go about things. And it's crazy because a lot of things back in the day were like, a lot of the changes were made because of the impact of college age students.
Exactly.
So we're at that age where we can definitely make a change or make an impact on things that we want to see changed in this country or at your campus or in your city. And you have that faculty support behind you, because, I mean, even though they might have more, I guess, power or responsibilities than you are at the campus, you as a student actually have power too, because they want not just the black faculty, but all the like the executives, the president, and all them kind of people. They want you to stay at their campus because that's how they get paid. That's how they continue being in the position that they're in. So you have the also power to make changes too, by saying what you want, writing it down, and formally giving it to those people in power so they can know that you are serious about what you want to see change. And having the student body behind that same movement would definitely help that that change happen.
Because like they used to say, they still say it now, closed mouths don't get fed. You saying, I'm just throwing something out there, like if you saying, all right, get rid of Pizza Hut at IUPUI, and you don't say anything, or your group of fellows or peers, and you're like, all right, well, I'm just making up something, we're allergic to the dough, like, and it's a large population of us on campus that are allergic to dough. Like, why do y'all have, solely just pizza? if you don't say anything, I mean, they're not gonna know. Like, they're not gonna check on your health record and be like, 75 students are allergic to pizza dough. Like, they're not gonna know that. So again, closed mouths get fed. You gotta speak up.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah, you gotta say something. If you see something, say something. Like, if it's, like, again, right now the big topic is George Floyd's mother of their child, is speaking up because she felt that the concept of what Kanye got going on. I don't know. I don't follow Kanye, but I guess there's some outrageous as usual. But again, if she ain't say nothing, he would have just let it flow. But now there's an uproar, and it's like, no, you're not gonna, speak on my late husband, boyfriend, situation like that. So again, things can change, but you gotta say something. But you gotta also, again, like I said, you gotta know the facts. You gotta have the information. You gotta be able to present something to them to let them know, like, hey, we said it before. This is our second time saying it. Now it's a group of us. It's not just me and one other person. Now you gotta do things the right way. Can't just jump in somebody's face and be like, all right, take out Pizza Hut, and they're gonna be like, who are you? Like, what's going on? But if you're like, hey, these are the statistics. These are the facts. Here are the signatures. Here's the staff that backs it up. They'll take it in consideration. I mean, they might not take it out for the whole campus because it's half of the state that goes to the school, but they might put an alternate change in there, and like might have a fruit bar, a salad station now, so that way that it can accommodate your needs, but you gotta speak up. You gotta say something.
Yeah. And then a good example of that is not too long ago, maybe less than a year ago, maybe it was more than, I don't know, it was maybe around a year ago, where there was a sign on the outside of one of the tunnels that you walk through or whatever, and it said, I believe it said Black Lives Matter on it. And it was up there for a while, but then someone was taking it down, and someone within our group chat was like, why are they taking the sign down? Like, what are they doing? It's like showing that they don't care anymore. So that student ended up talking to like the secretary of the president or the secretary somewhere.
I think the Chandler.
Chandler. She and they was like, okay, we go really go in to see what's going on, and they actually like saw what was going on, and they stopped it from happening, and the sign stayed up, or the banner stayed up. And I mean, that's just a small example of how your voice can be heard, because like they're going to continue doing what they think is right until you tell them that it's not right. So you have to stand up and make a voice. And some people like myself, I'm not the extrovert in the group. So you don't have to be the extrovert in the group to see it change. Yeah. If you have good writing skills, if you have good organizational skills, like that stuff is definitely important too, because it's a team effort. Somebody else can give the speech, but you wrote the speech. So definitely you can still make an impact no matter how you are in life, or whether you're introvert or extrovert or that kind of thing. So that's what I want to say.
I like that. I like that.
So I got a few more questions.
That's fine with me.
This has actually been a very good interview or conversation today, and it's been going by fast. So let me get to my last few questions before we end this episode. So let's go into, what opportunities do you see when it comes to leadership, campus jobs, internships, co-ops, full-time jobs, and all that kind of stuff at a PWI?
My mom always told me, you got to know somebody somewhere. Now, granted, of course, your skills and ability speak for themselves. Your resume may look superb. Your reel or your portfolio may impress the president, but you still got to know somebody that knows somebody.
But how you could get it to the president is the thing.
Exactly. You got to slide it in the mailbox. Got to slide it in their mailbox. Just slip it in
to
real
have
quick.
Them look at it, because somebody, I mean, depending on where they are in life, like somebody probably look at the email and like sort out the bad things they don't want them to see.
Spam in real life. Exactly. Throw it in trash. Be like, all right, never mind. But I definitely would say, again, networking. You're always networking some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just meeting a friend, that's a form of networking, because you're telling them about X, Y, and Z, the internships you had.
You never know who someone may know.
Exactly. joke about this all the time. It's like, oh, I always got to have a white friend so I can get in somewhere. But it's not that, but it's just the simple fact that they might know somebody already there than me just coming on in and be like, hi, I'm Ariel Ralph, how are you? And they'd be like, all right, who are you? Versus them coming in like, hey, Sally, how you been? How was Jimmy? How's the kids? And they're like, oh, hey, well, who's that with you? So it's like, it doesn't matter who you're with, but, you got to kind of know somebody to get in. But I would definitely say once you get in, you show them. You show them what they were going to miss out on. Because there's many times that I've applied somewhere and they're like, oh, you don't have the experience. You're not old enough. First of all, I work technically in technology. I work with, social media, emails, advertisement. Why do I need to be about 40 years old to do that? If I need 10 years of experience, I would be 35. You want me to be 35 years old to work Facebook? Please explain that to me. So it's like, once you get in that position, you show them your best person. Like you outdo yourself. Like you should scare yourself while you're in this position to show them that, oh, if you would have skipped out on me, this is what you would have missed. So I definitely say put your best foot forward. Always have an elevator speech. 10 seconds. Just hi, your name, what you want to do in life, what your purpose is, and how you can make their life easier. Now, many people say it should be your name, what you're doing, and how you want to be in their position. No, I'm about to show you how I'm gonna make your life easier. So you want to hire me, because who wants to wake up every day at 8:00, go to the same job, look at the same screen, be upset about their boss, or at the cat, the dog, the mail, the doctor's appointment every day, Monday through Friday. You would want somebody to come in and be like, hey, let me help you. And you'd be like, well, by God, like I got to load off for the day. I'm going to tell you in that elevator speech how I can make your life easier. That's going to make you want to invest in me, or, find my name, find my LinkedIn, get my phone number, my email, and we can go from there.
Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to leadership opportunities, there are a lot of opportunities for you to get that leadership skills or improve on your leadership skills while you're in college. Like when you're in clubs, you're most likely looking for at least 5-6 leaders for that club. If you're part of Greek life, they're looking for leaders to be to lead their organization. If you want to be on like student government, looking for leaders within that. Within our school, they have what is it called? You have to apply for it. There's only like a couple people who can do it every year, like the board trustee or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another opportunity that you can get. And these different leadership opportunities can lead you to other opportunities, because you're going to be working with and talking to and networking with people who have power, people who can put you in places that you probably wouldn't be able to get on your own, at least not at the stage that you're at right now. And having those leadership positions not only give you the skills, but give you the network that can help you get to places that you want to get once you graduate.
Yeah, and then if there's not even a club or org, make it. And again, this might be different at every institution, but I know for IUPUI, all you need is 5 students and 2 teachers. You can make a whole club right there. And you can make your own leadership right there.
And it's crazy. So I kind of did this a couple years ago with an organization and a couple students. And because, and the thing is, it's not an organization anymore because it didn't succeed or whatever. Yeah. But because we made that effort to do that, that helped me get an internship. That helped me get a job that I'm in right now. So just because something doesn't go the way you want it to go or be successful, if you can demonstrate the things that you learn from it, the things that you got from it, the things that you put into it, people don't always look for where something was successful. They look for the things that you learned. They look for the things that what you did when there was obstacles in front of you. Yeah. And how you overcame those obstacles.
Exactly. That's what they want to know. That's what they really want to know. And again, this is I think a pet peeve of mine, but that's one of the main questions they ask you in an interview. what is a challenge that you had and how did you overcome it?
Exactly.
Like that's the real leadership question that they want to know. Like, again, it doesn't matter, if you're tall, short, fat, skinny, black, white. Like, if something, for instance, anything goes wrong, God forbid, but they're like, what are you going to do? What is it going to take for you to get it done? And how long is it going to take you to get it done? Like that is what a company or, a business owner, people at the bank for a loan for a company, they want to know what it's going to do to get it done. And
then outside of leadership positions, which I think every student should have at least one leadership position under their belt while they're in college. Yeah. There are campus jobs that you can also get where you don't have to be a leader. You can just be a student and you need some extra money for whatever you need extra money for, bills or
but that also shows teamwork too.
It shows teamwork, and then again, it's the network that you're building. Like if you're working on campus, you're working with faculty members. You might be working with professors. You're working with people who know people that can help you get to where you want to get. So these different opportunities, definitely take them and then take advantage of them. Don't just take it as, okay, I'm just here for a couple hours so I can make a couple dollars. Use it as opportunity to help you get past that $10 an hour, get past that $12 an hour or whatever. So definitely there's a lot of different opportunities like that on a college campus, no matter if you go to a PWI or HBCU, no matter you're black, white, Asian, Jamaican, whatever you are.
That makes me want to have an oxtail. Just it just made me hungry. I love it.
So I'm going to get to these last few questions. Okay. Who are some people to talk to or form relationships with to make sure you are successful while you're in college and after? And I think we talked about this already, but
true.
Let's maybe get a little deeper into it.
I would definitely speak to your advisor. Now, if they're kind of new, see if you have another advisor that's like a backup plan, because usually I know for IUPUI, I think it was my last name, and because we were in the IT building, that's why I had that specific advisor. But make them your best friend. Let them know that you're going to be annoying. I shout out to Miss Melissa. I told her as soon as I transferred, I'm emailing her once a month. She probably was like, ma'am, you're crazy. I'm not going to answer every email you send me. She answered every email I sent her. But that's one, because again, I was a transfer student. I didn't know the culture of IUPUI. I only knew by what my mom taught me, because she's a teacher. You're supposed to ask questions. As long, again, you closed mouths don't get fed. So when I transferred, I was like, okay, what classes do I need? What days are they? How long is the credit hours? How long do I have to graduate? What steps do I need to take? Do I need to take summer school now because I want to graduate faster, or I want to take longer? What do I need to do to succeed? They should be your best friend. They should know your schedule. I mean, of course, they're not going to know it. You're not the only student they have. But again, they should be able, when you email them, they should be able to pull it up like that and see, okay, you're doing this, that, and the third in this class. You're doing this class right. Okay, you're messing up in this class. You need this to graduate now. Come on, get it together. They should be your best buddy. Right after that is your professors. Even though it may change every semester or depending on, your major, you might have the same professor throughout the whole year or 2 years,
I have a couple professors where I have them in multiple classes.
So, your academic advisor should be like your best friend on campus. Now, if there's a situationship, yes, talk to them, but also talk to your parents, but also let your professors know what's going on. Hey, they don't read minds. They have multiple other students, multiple other classes that they have going on. It's not bad to give them a reminder. I know for my, I guess you could say, senior year summer, I was concerned because COVID hit and my class was a hands-on class. I emailed this woman all throughout spring break and was like, do I have to take summer school? Do I, like, what do we do with my grade? Like, what's going to happen? Like, now, again, nobody knew about COVID at all, so I shouldn't even emailed her anything, but I was so, like, consistent of, okay, what's going on? You know, she was like, you know, Ariel, will let you know, like, we don't even know what's going on, you know, we'll, you know, figure it out. But also with my professor, I'm like, you don't want to teach in the class, like, what are we going to do with my grade? Like, what are we doing? Like, you know, are we going to do something virtually? Are we, you know, do we need to like sneak away in this town since we can't come to campus? And the man's like, Ariel, chill. Like,
we all going through the same thing.
I don't even think I have a job right now. Like, you're asking me about your grade. And I'm like, okay, I'll leave you alone for now, but I'll message you back in about a week. But I definitely say a resource is do not be afraid to ask them what is going on or what are my next steps, because again, you're not the only student, so they either seen this before, you know, you want to build that relationship that they know your strengths and weaknesses. Ms. Melissa knew for a fact that my strong suit was not finite, so we had to do that a couple times. I'm sorry, Mom, I wasted your money, but we had to.
If you learn something from it, it's not a waste of money.
Yeah, but you need a C to get it out the class. I ain't get no C yet.
Well, you learned from the previous class.
True.
So you can get at least a C in the next time.
I did.
So it wasn't a waste. It was just.
But it hurt my mama pockets, which hurt my soul because she told me by myself about wasting her pockets money. But I definitely would say, you know, the biggest resource of academic wise would definitely be your advisor. Like, know them, you know, again, ask for the office hours if they don't, you know, just upfront give it to you. You know, you don't got to ask for their cell phone number, but, you know, at least their email, what is their time of day that they don't respond to anything, you know, because after like 5 o'clock now as an adult, I don't open no email. Don't send me nothing at 5:05 because I will read it again at 9 a.m. the next morning and you're going to be upset. But to, you know, further, because you want to know if you're on the right track. You know, they know you, they know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. They want to make sure you succeed just like you want to succeed. Check in with them. Don't feel like you're being a bother. Now, if you wrote them on a Tuesday and it's now been 4 months and you've never heard nothing back, okay, at that point you'd be like, all right, now what's going on? Like, why are you ignoring me? But I mean, like, give them a week. Like, you know, you're not the only student, but you know what's going on. You know, don't wait, you know, 4 months, you know, the semester's now over and you're like, oh, I'm graduating in June. And they're like, you got 2 more classes, boo. And you like, oh, but that's because you ain't asked nobody. You didn't say nothing. Again, closed mouths don't get fed.
Another group of people I think you should definitely form relationships with, especially if you're underclassmen, are the upperclassmen and graduate students.
Yes.
Those people have been
find a grad student
where you've been, and they can help you get to where they are, or at least if that's where you want to go. They also sometimes, I don't know if it's always ethical.
Who is it?
It's not somebody, but they will also might have old homework or old exams, and you can definitely use that if it's not against the rules for that class to help you.
Yeah, just some tidbits. Yeah, I don't see any problem with that. And I would definitely say, again, this is up to, you know, your discretion. Also get comfortable and find, and I hate to use this word, but it's like the psych center. It's not that, but, you know, areas if you have like, you know, depression, anxiety, you know, because those are different from like a academic counselor. They're a counselor, but I don't, you know the correct term on campus for their names. But it is okay if you're not okay. I know that was a very hard thing for high school students, that we even had a conversation about that. Oh, we're black, like we need to hold everything in. Baby, if I'm upset, I'm gonna let you know I'm upset. If I start to cry, I'm gonna start crying. So as a young adult, you know, hearing all that, I didn't follow it, but many of my friends did. And even now as adult, you know, they hold things in, and you know, they wait to the last minute and then they blow up. And it's like, well, what's wrong? What's going on? Well, when I was in the 3rd grade, like, oh, come on, like, seriously. So I feel like no matter what campus or, you know, university, HBCU, PWI, find those individuals that, you know, have that degree or, you know, diploma or, you know, whatever training, to seek advice, or you know, if you do need just a hug, Jesus, like go get it. Like, don't be that, oh, I'm a macho black person, I don't need this. Yes, you do. You need a hug. We can tell.
I have a feeling that almost all, if not all, university campuses have free services, like for mental health, for, I guess you can call it therapy, and a lot of times they have group sessions where you don't have to be alone. If you don't have to do it by yourself, if you don't want to. Of course, there's sometimes you can do it individually as well, but those services can definitely help you when you're feeling. And it doesn't have to be just about schoolwork. It can be about life. Like maybe you had someone pass away that was that you really loved, or you had a falling out with your significant other, whether it was just a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever. Like, they can help you through those situations and help you be successful, getting through those situations, because again, they want to see you be successful and graduate from that school. Are there any other people that they should definitely form relationships with? Talk about professors, advisors, therapists.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, because I talk a lot, so I talk to random people. It'd be people that didn't even go to the campus. Exactly. It was some of the custodian workers, you know, some of the cooks that, you know, you would thought were students because, you know, go to IUPUI, and they're like, nah, baby, I don't go here. I'm like, oh, well, can we be friends?
You never know who someone is or who someone knows. So building relationships with just random people that you see on campus, because maybe y'all both got Chick-fil-A, or maybe y'all both sitting in the library. Like having relationships with different people from different areas, different backgrounds, different majors, all that kind of stuff will help you. Not only in college, but life after college. Because, like, I said this a couple of times during this episode already, but you never know what or who someone knows. So definitely form those relationships with as many people as you can. And I think I have an episode about networking either last season or sometime this season. But look, you'll see it if you look.
Stay tuned.
All right, now wrapping up this episode, which I think is a great episode, one of my longest episodes, but it just felt like we were just having a good conversation with a lot of good information. But before I let you go, is there anything that we missed or any questions I may have not asked that you would like to add or talk about when it comes to navigating the PWI or the college experience in general?
I would definitely say experience everything. You know, even if it's something you're not used to, something that you haven't heard before, seen, give it a try, give it a shot, you know, because you never know, again, where you're going to go in life. I know for instance, many of my, you know, Nigerian friends, you know, I eat many of the food like, you know, their parents make. Like, it's, you know, to them, that's regular custom food. But now, this upcoming summer in June, I'll be going to Ghana. So it's like, oh, I already, you know, kind of know what some of the spices are, you know, how to pronounce the food, you know, or the item in the meal. But again, I wouldn't have got that if I didn't, you know, ask them, oh, well, what is that you have for lunch? Or, you know, what did you bring to Friendsgiving? So just experience it all. Don't feel like, you know, somebody will shut you out because you asked, what is that? Or, you know, don't feel, you know, peer pressured by your friends to not go meet new friends. Like we are adults. Like, you know, my grandma had the saying, many friends are like leaves. They go by the season. You have friends that are branches. You know, they hang on, but some of them break off. But then you have friends that are roots, and they're there for a long time. You will learn in college fairly quickly, you know, depending on the relationship. Let me rephrase that. Depending on the relationship, you will learn who those leaves are. You will learn who those branches are, and you will learn who those roots are. Yeah. So experience everything.
Exactly. You don't know what you like or don't like until you try it.
Exactly. So that would be my advice to anybody, you know, that's going to college. Even if you're returning to college, and like Ivy Tech, again, many of my classmates were in their 30s and 40s, you know, coming back to school. Try something new, learn it, you know, and again, you don't have to learn it that day. You know, you're not gonna, you know, be the next Mark Zuckerberg, you know, overnight, but it's like, you know, try it, understand it, see where, you know, other people see it, but, you know, enjoy yourself, have fun.
Definitely. Is there any one or two things that you want to make sure that all Black students understand who are attending PWI, really understand and prepare for? Like, they can forget everything else that we talked about in this episode, but they have to know this thing or this one thing or this two things.
Do not go in there acting like you know everything, because you do not. I know many friends from different backgrounds, you know, struggled, trenches, some people that, you know, have both parents, some that have one, some that don't have any at all. Do not go in there thinking you run the school. You do not run it. You may have, you know, ran your high school, you know, because you was the big dog, or, you know, you was the jock, or, you know, you was the cool girl. Reality is going to hit you real quick. You are not the cool kid at school. You are not running anything. You pay bills like the rest of us. We are all on the same playing field. And I guess my second thing would be seek advice. You know, don't feel, again, like you have that ego that you cannot ask for help. I know many coworkers now, and in high school, they had to break that, because, again, you don't know everything. It doesn't make you look bad if you don't know something.
What makes you look bad is saying you know something
and then not knowing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Then you mess everything up. Then you're kind of like, all right, now we're gonna have to fire you. Like, but again, so those would definitely be my two. Not coming in, you know, thinking you're the popular kid, or you got all this money and you got all the jewelry on. You're another humbled student at this school. As well as, if something, you know, you truly just don't know, ask. You know, again, like I said,
that's in class, that's out of class, that's in the student
parking garage.
organization.
Look, in the parking garage. What floor can I park on?
Exactly.
Is this the right pass?
Exactly, because you don't want to get your car towed.
Parking in the wrong line.
Because they be out there. They be ticketing. They be ticketing. I be seeing them.
Many students that have got told by parking in the teacher parking lot because I thought it was the area they could park in. Look, listen, ask with a hard K. Ask somebody something. Those would definitely be my two advices.
I agree with those two things. And Ariel, I'd like to thank you once again.
Thank you
for being a guest on my podcast. I'm pretty sure people have learned a lot from it, or at least enjoyed the conversation that we had today. But before I let you go, is there anything you would like to plug, anything you would like to shout out, anything you would like to talk about? Because I know you got 1,700 side hustles that you're working on. So go ahead. I'll give you another, 15 minutes if you need to showcase your different talents.
I won't do that. I won't scare them, because they're going to be like, how does this girl have time to sleep and eat with all that going on? But I will drop this little nugget. If you, no matter what university, HBCU, or institution you are at, use check. Do not.
It's not free though.
Listen, let me tell you, it's free to sign up. Okay? You check CHEGG.com. Every book in the US of A is on there. You are not required to use your institution's bookstore to buy books.
That's true.
That is not a requirement. So if your book that you need for a class and you can find it on Chegg, buy it. Now, I will say, it may be used, it may be new, but I have never spent over $30.
I don't spend money on books no more.
Well, yeah, now because we graduated, but you know,
I'm talking about me.
I know, I'm an adult. I don't gotta buy no book. Like I'm giving them advice. Listen, let me finish.
Okay,
I got this. I got this. I got you, and I got this.
I apologize.
But buy the books on there, and it will save you at least a good $400 a semester. Because I know for my photography books, per book was $150. And then I had, 4 classes, so each class needed a book.
They thought to me.
Yeah, and ask that question too. Do I need a book for this class? Because you'll go get that book from the bookstore, spend $300, and then you open the book once. Go on Chegg, maybe $5 to $10 per book. I'm going to drop that nugget because that saved me money all through college.
Okay.
That's all I got for them.
Oh, okay. You didn't want to shout out anything, talk about anything about you personally that they can talk to you about?
I mean, they can.
Follow you on something?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can do everything. I mean, I'm everywhere. That's weird to like shout myself out. I do a little bit of everything. I serve on the weekend. Serve as a waitress, not like, you know, in the U.S. Army guys. No. Because I say that and people be like, oh, you're in the Army? No, I'm a server, not serving. But I also do photography. I do videography. I work with small youth, high school students, all the way to pretty much, what was the Boy Scouts? Kindergarten. So kindergarten to high school, college students.
That was a fun job.
I do miss it. I miss my kids, the ones I had. I'm trying to think, what else do I do? Lord mercy.
How can they contact you?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at BossLady, BossLaddii __. It's not the regular Boss Lady, because that's just basic. I got too many jobs to be just basic.
Oh.
I have about 7 jobs. I'm out here. I'm Jamaican. I'm not really, but I'll claim it.
I was like, are you? Because I didn't know.
Let me stop, because they could be like, ma'am. Where in Jamaica you from? I'm not. Baby.
I thought you, like, I was going to believe you. Like, there was no reason for me not to believe you.
I don't have an accent.
I mean, you don't need to have an accent.
I know a lot of people that have their accent still. Even if they were born there and they came to the U.S., they still have their accent depending on where they're from. I have no accent. Well, according to people from the South, I have a North accent.
Well, everyone has an accent to somebody else.
Do we, though?
I think so, yes. Anyway, again, thank you again for being a special guest on my
thank
podcast.
You for having me.
I enjoyed this conversation. And
appreciate
to you who are listening, hopefully you're still listening to this conversation. Thank you for listening in. I really appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to listen in. Even if you're doing it while you're doing other things, it's still thank you. But again, as always, until next time, continue your journey until you reach your success.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Lazenby Experience podcast. I really hope you were able to receive valuable information that will help you take actionable steps to get you closer to achieving your goals. If this is true for you, I would really appreciate it if you share this episode with others, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to continue receiving updates on new episodes. I truly am excited about how my experience, the Lazenby Experience, can make a difference in your life. Again, thank you for listening to the Lazenby Experience podcast, and until next time, continue your journey until you reach your success.